Hello there, Constantine the Philosopher here. Today I'm going to talk about the power of not giving a fuck and take action, get things done. Well, thankfully, it's something that I always had from young. I guess maybe it's, some people have like this, those, this behavior, but I never really care what people think about what I do or what decision I make, if it's good or bad. And I don't really sweat it, I don't, get stuck on it, good or bad, For me, I have a theory. It's like better to do something, even bad, than do nothing and just wait, take forever. So, for example, like I'm in another country, like half around the world, fourth country so far in my life, for a long period, with a wife that's, people were saying, by the way, are you crazy to go to a place you have no idea? So that's why, if I really, thought it through, I'm not like stupid just doing things randomly. But I was like, after some research, I'm like, I can do this, it's no big deal. Just take action and try it, So, and same, with the wife, much younger than me. People are like, oh, you're crazy, you have no idea, it's for the money or, blah, bing, bada boom, she can destroy you, bada boom, bada bing. I understand the concerns, but eventually you have to take action. That's the point. And pretty much I'm going to talk about like, many examples. Maybe give an example, like, even like when I was younger, like another thing, like 10 years ago, like I started doing street art. I saw a video of, the guy Obey, with the banks or whatever, they were doing some stuff. I'm like, oh, I can't do that, I just took the brush, boom, I'm like, I didn't wait much. I connect the dots, 1, 2, 3, boom, action. There's nobody's gonna, I always tell people it's kind of very simple how it works. And my thing kind of took off, it's like to show you, like, you're just taking action, don't wait forever. And the same thing with a video like this, I started like, I think 2-3 weeks ago, boom, boom, I took the camera, tell my wife, I'm going to go make a video, boom, first shot, boom, done, I already knew, like, you have an idea pretty much where to start, it won't be perfect. I'm sure, you can hear, maybe the background noise or, maybe you don't like my outfit or, the location or, But for me, this makes me happy, so what you do is that you start from where a point where you think that's, good enough. It's like a good demo, you understand? You have to start somewhere. You don't go like, completely random. For me, for example, I like to, walk in nature, walk my dog. And I'm like, I can utilize it, talking at the same time, which I used to talk to my mother hours, a week about things, So I'm like, let's share to the world. Anyhow, I think I lost my thought. There's a dog, so I have to protect, because my dog will attack other dogs. So anyway, yeah, action. Like I said, the street art, an example. Like, like other things, like even the studio. Like, I used to do music, Like, I'll give you an example, like Michael Jackson, right? People always think like, Thriller. Well, Michael Jackson didn't make Thriller, it wasn't his first album, He had to go through so many venues. Sometimes he goes to venues that, nobody shows up. You have to start from zero, ground zero. You experiment, you waste time, you waste energy. But that's what you do, you gotta do. He didn't wait until he was 20 to start performing, and make the album Thriller. That's not how it works. That's how we think in the movie, we don't understand that, that's the end result. It's like Elon Musk, it's not like, suddenly he did SpaceX and, etc. You have to start from nowhere. But you gotta take action, and that's what it is, and not care about what people, think is crazy or not. You do what if you're Elon Musk and you think, that's how you want to get things done, go for it. Let me just clear a bit the camera, I think touched. Anyhow, and I have so many examples, like I remember, like in the younger, I was working in the studio, and things would take forever, like I had the song already pretty much, just a little cleanup, and it was like 3 months to perfect it. Perfectionism, terrible. Same thing, procrastination, perfectionism, just dragging things, like, what are you perfecting? Start somewhere. Like what I do right now is nothing perfect. Trust me, I'm very aware. I'm sure it's not the best video, but for me, that satisfies me, makes me happy. I do something. I walk the dog. I enjoy the nature. I love this place. I want to share my mistakes, knowledge, my theories. Hey, that's why we're doing it. That's what we do. Everybody has a good time. You get value. It's not always easy. And of course, there's a sometimes you feel uncomfortable and scared to do something, because you're in the unknown. But you gotta, anyway, I think I sidetracked the subject. The point is don't care what the rest of the people say, And that's what I do with my outfit, how I dress, how I talk, Like I said earlier, the country that I am, the age gap of the wife, and everything else that I do, I don't have to get, permission or approval. Like the car that I drive, if it's like never washed. I mean, that's how I like it. It's not like I have nothing against people who wash it. You like to wash, you wash. So everybody, should utilize their powers and not care what people think, I think when you take action, that's how things get done. Don't overthinking. Just be true to yourself. Don't be influenced what other people want you to be. That's the opposite. You have to avoid. Is to give a fuck and fall like everybody else. Like you go to the school because it was told to you, or like a job, it was recommended by you. Well, unfortunately, it has to be, you have to be true to yourself. You have to find something, that matches you, So don't get carried away with, it says like you say TikTok, I have to buy Bitcoin, or you don't feel comfortable. Don't do things, just do things that you feel like, will benefit you and take you somewhere. I'm trying to see my list if I forgot any other. I talk as I go, or the other way around. Anyway, so the same thing, with, for example, like when I used to meet like famous people or celebrities in Hollywood, or even how to do their art. I was doing much street art of the faces of the vegans. I mean, if I had to wait for permissions and everything, it would take probably a decade for each actor. So I'm just go for it, and just do it. So it's a comfort level. You have to just act. If it's for a good cause, I think and all the celebrities pretty much like what I did because it was for a good cause. So I think you see, at the end of the day, it works out by itself. It's not like I did like a criminal, like to use their licenses. I just did it to go to the point. The message is for the animals. So I used their faces to promote it, and that's it. I had no bad intentions. Like I was like a thief or anything. So that's what you have to do. You have to always think if your cause is good, you have good intentions. Like I'm here with my wife. The intentions are good. I'm not playing games or trying to be like gigolo or or take advantage because my dollar has more power. It's like as long as you're correct and you don't have to care. You do the right thing. There's nothing immoral. I'm not like pedophile. My wife is when I met her was 23. She's 24 now, 25 soon. I'm 53. So what? I heard every word you can imagine. Like, oh my God, the age gap, blah blah blah. Yes, you're right. There is an age gap. I'm glad you noticed. And it's a long distance here. Yes, from Europe and USA, it's very far. Anyway, another thing. So yeah, I'm trying to see my ideas. I just write before I start. I write some bullet points before I start recording, if I can think of anything. Yeah, people will say to you, you're crazy. You're gonna go broke. Anyway, so even if things go south, even if the like I said earlier, if you do the wrong decision, let it go. Life is too short to think about those things. That's why another thing I was going to say, life is too short to think about, overthink things. Take action. Can you imagine if Michael Jackson had waited? He died young, unfortunately. Great guy. His music is amazing, and as an artist, imagine if he didn't start young, or if he just waited for the right moment. You gotta act. And another thing I do is if you do the wrong thing, just let the past go. Don't get stuck if something doesn't go as expected. Just let it go. Try and be quick. Okay, say I fucked up, or I won't do it again. I'll try my best. I learned from my mistake. So I'm trying to read my notes. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this one. Yeah, I mean, the same, the same. Another example I can give you is like I heard like nowadays, for example, guys have a hard time, dating. They don't approach, and they blame, the ladies. And I'm sure, it's, trust me, I'm sure it's hard, but that's another thing. Rejection. Don't care. Just approach. Standard auditioning. I mean, that's why I admire actors. I'm not gifted to be an actor, as you can see, but I admire them in that sense that they can get rejection. So it takes. At the beginning, it's not easy, but eventually you get used to it, and it's no big deal. At the end of the day, it's like there's nothing hard feelings. Sometimes people don't match, just move on. At the beginning, I was very emotional about relationships. Like people, wasting my time. I have to do it again. Go back to another day. Blah blah blah. Look at this beautiful sunset coming soon. So I understand that, it's not fun. But if you care, but as long, that's why I think I admire actors too, because, they don't care, what people think, that's crazy what they do, or matter of any art, any artwork, even video creators like this, like my example, or street art, or music, like, I was involved. All those things, they require chances, like art, like I did gallery, I did some sales, but you have to just do things, just get things done, make moves, start something, act. Like that's what I do, I mean, maybe linked to this, not caring, it's like you build a thick skin. It's pretty much a habit thing. Once you excuse me, once you stop caring, once you mess up a few things, and you learn from your mistakes, eventually your skin becomes thicker, and next time it's easier. It's like a workout. The first time it's hard. It's like a marathon, man. The beginning is hard, baby steps, but eventually it's like you can go running for like hours, right? So yeah, I think I'm confusing myself. That's why I'm today completely confused. But I think you get the point. I think I'm gonna keep it short today and enjoy the nice sunset with Luna. Yeah. So if you have any comments or any questions, if I can help with anything, my mistakes, or motivate you maybe to, get back on track. If I can, if my advice can be of any value to you, feel free to reach out, leave a comment. It's my pleasure, to give back to, all this beauty, I guess, I'm very lucky to be here. And also another thing I was going to say is like, be appreciative, like a trick I do is like, not to look back in the past so much, the mistake, look in the present, appreciate the present, and look forward. There's so much we can do, we're here to bring, a better future for our kids, so let's step up the game, get better ourselves, and stop caring what people, think about, how you dress, how you talk, what you eat, whatever, whatever it is, right? What you study. I mean, every subject in your life, who you marry, like I said earlier, where you live. Like I used to live in, Chinatown in LA, which is not like, the high quality. Everybody made the joke of me. I was in a nice house, for pretty much the rent was dirt cheap. And I was the happiest guy. I mean, it's not perfect, but I was next to the opera. I didn't care, what people think. Matter of fact, if the girls didn't like it or whatever, the dates, or my friends didn't like to come, I'm like, who cares? My place was clean, nice, set up. And then I could save money. Anyway, I'm humble, but don't ever care. Just take action. Think about it. Don't jump in, like, don't go diving, in the middle of the ocean first time. But think about it and make action. Take action. And watch also my video about the take action, like how important it is. Don't sit around and waiting. Time will fly by. Literally scary, huh? Anyhow, nice talking to you. I'll see you in the next one. In beautiful Philippines, the jungle, with Luna. Have a good day now.